let's get started. I'll go with the board meeting of the Upper Big Blue Natural Resource District, Open Meeting Act. Public notice has been published in the York News Times on November 14th of 2024. The Open Meeting Act is posted in the back of the room by the door. All cell phones should be silenced during meeting. Please be aware this meeting is being recorded. When speaking, the desktop microphone button must be depressed. This ensures that your comments are recorded in their entire contents. Recording is part of public record along with written board minutes in accordance with state statute. Roll call.
Bethune.
Here.
Anthony Bohaty.
Here.
Jeff Bohaty.
Here.
Richard Bohaty.
Here.
Dickinson.
Here.
Groats. Houdersheldt.
Here.
Kuehner.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Nuss.
Here.
Addy. Perry.
Here.
Peterson. Siebert.
Here.
Stahly. Here. Weiss.
Here.
Yates.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, consideration of director's request for excused absence. I have three. Teresa Audie. She's at the Nebraska Water Leadership Academy in Nebraska City. Kevin Peterson. But he had a root canal. Yeah, health issues. There we go. I don't know how to say that. And then Rodney Groves, he is traveling out of the country. So if you would like to do an excused absence, you can do it together or separate. That's your choice.
I like this stuff.
Which ones would you like to excuse? Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor in excusing Teresa or giving her an excused absence? Roll call.
Anthony.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Houdersheldt.
Yes.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Stahly. Yes. Weiss.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Anyone want to take any action on the other two? John.
I move that we excuse Peterson and Groats.
Second.
Roll call. Oh.
Who had the second on that?
I don't. Bill.
I was still thinking. Okay, right.
Jeff.
No.
Richard.
No.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Houdersheldt.
Yes.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Stahly. Yes. Weiss.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Anthony.
Abstain.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Public comments. Anyone may comment on any matter that is not on this agenda. However, no board action can be taken until the following board meeting, according to Nebraska Open Meeting Act, unless the board declares an emergency. Please hold comments on any listed items until it is considered. Does anyone have anything? Okay. The next thing I would like to say, but I want to welcome two new board members to be here. I'm going to introduce Andrew Eberspacher and then Brian Stair. Brian's been coming, and I didn't know who knew Andrew. So. Okay, adoption of agenda. So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Houdersheldt.
Yes.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Stahly. Yes. Weiss.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Approval of minutes of the October 17th, 2024 Board of Directors meeting.
So move.
Second. Any additions or corrections or that, or any comments on it? Not roll call.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Houdersheldt.
Yes.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Miller.
Abstain.
Nuss.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
That carried 13-1.
Okay, the next thing is staff recognition. Patty, would you please come up here? The first thing I want to say is I apologize for giving you a hard time for every time I see you, but.
I can take it.
You've been, you're good to work with and you take all of my guff pretty good. So thank you very much for
Thank you.
everything you've done for the NRG.
Yeah, there you go, and hold that logo up high, Patty. There you go, there you
On
go,
my face?
over his face. even
Yeah,
better.
probably. Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be an
okay.
improvement.
Can I get one with you guys shaking hands too?
How many years is it?
15.
Yeah, smile, Patty.
I'm trying.
Smile. All right, very good.
Thank you very much for
What?
everything.
You have nothing to say. You asked me to do that, and I did.
She always has something to say to me every time I walk in the door, so. Okay, the next thing is the presentation of the fiscal year 2024 audit. And I believe Tracy Cannon is going to do that. We'll just come up to the and push the button on the mic there and it should stay green. Up at the little light in the corner. No? Oh, maybe it's not turned on the back. Okay.
So first I'll go over the audit report and then the financial statements. So the first few pages is gonna be the audit report on the financial statements. We gave an opinion that the financial statements present fairly in all material respects. So they're just an unmodified opinion. The next page just kind of goes over that the financial statements are the responsibility of management. Oh, sorry. And so then we can get into the financials, the MD&A. If we start on page 7, it just kind of highlights some of the areas of the financial statements. So the first thing that I was just going to point out was the summary of the net position. So you've got your current assets, capital assets, and then your debt to come to your net position. So your investment in capital assets is 6.2 million, and then the unrestricted net assets is 4.6. And then the next page just kind of goes over like your sources of revenue. So you can see the property taxes, the 3 million makes up 80% of the revenue that you bring in. 10% is from capital grants and contributions. And then 5% is charges for services. And then you have some interest income and some miscellaneous items. And then the next page kind of talks about like your capital projects that were going on. So the ones that were greater than 20,000 are listed there on page 9. Okay, so the following pages are just more into the financial statements. If you go to page 13, this is the balance sheet of the fund financials. So it breaks it out between your general fund and your sinking fund. And so then you've got your total assets, 2.4 in the general and 2.8 in the sinking fund. And then after liabilities, your unassigned fund balance in the general fund is 1.7. And the sinking fund, you've got assigned for 2.8 million, and page 31 breaks that out. Based on what the assignment's for. So you've got like your Oxbow Trail at 988,000. The recharge water shield improvements at 961,000. The Seward West Trail at 157 and so on. And then page 15 breaks down the allocation of the revenue between the general and the sinking fund again. So the revenue that's coming in on the sinking fund is your interest from the investments. And then there's 327,000 that was transferred from the sinking fund to the general fund to cover costs. Your expenditures, majority is going to be with your administrative expenditures, water, and then capital outlay. And so that kind of goes over the financials. Is there anything you wanted to look at more closely or have any questions?
So does anybody have any questions or anything, or as far as what she went over so far?
I have a question. On
Yeah.
page 15 on your expenditures,
Yeah,
are all the salaries and wages, administration, or any of them in office, public information? Water projects?
that I'm not 100% sure. I don't perform the audit. So I guess I'd have to look into the detail, but I could find out and have Kyle reach out.
Bill, I'm sorry, what was your question, Bill?
On page 15.
Right.
Are all the wages,
It should be included in that
all of
expenditure.
them are in general administration, none of them are included in office or projects? or
No, the wages should be,
water? Okay,
the only thing that wouldn't be, the wages go back against the department where that employee works, but the benefits all go through admin. We used to back charge that, like whatever percentage of benefits, we don't do that anymore. It's just a straight, whatever benefits are, they go to the admin, to Dave's budget.
Is there any other questions? Was there anything else you were going to touch on
I
that?
was just gonna kind of go over the board letter. This is kind of where we give comments on like the adjustments that we made and any recommendations, just operational things that we saw within the audit. The only comment that we had would to be adopt a formal capitalization policy of 2,500. So any capital expenditures less than 2,500, you would just expense. Anything over, then you would capitalize.
Anybody have anything to? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Crazy.
Okay, now we'll move on to the Water Regulations Committee report.
Need to accept the audit.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, would somebody like to do something with accepting the audit? John?
I move we accept the audit as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner, Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yeah.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, now we'll move on to the Water Regulations Committee report. Kendall.
Water Regulation Committee. Met Thursday, November 14th, 2024 at 9 o'clock AM at the NRD office. Those who participated are committee members were Bohaty, Dickinson, Audie, Stahly, myself, and Yates. Other staff, directors, and guests are also listed. The acknowledgement of the legal notice for the committee meeting was published in the York News Times. Also, everyone was advised that those present that the Open Meetings Act is posted by the entrance to the boardroom. Action items. There were 12 aquifer quality well abandonment cost share assistance program applications have been approved for final payment totaling $9,503.38. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments of 12 well abandonments as reviewed by the committee at a cost of $9,503.38. That motion passed 6 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Is there any questions or comments on this motion? Roll call.
Kuehner, Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item B. Fumigation cost share payment. Staff discovered a math error in payment to Williams family and has recommended for payment of $45 to correct this error. A list is attached. Motion is to make cost share payment for one fumigation cost share assistance application in the amount of $45. This motion carries 6 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
second,
Any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
No.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
That carried 13-1.
Item C. 2 invoices have been received for work completed on the Vado Zone study from July 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2024 and October 1st, 2024 through October 31st, 2024. Totaling $9,302.51. A copy of the invoices is attached. Motion to pay the University of Nebraska Lincoln for work completed on the Vado Zone study totaling $9,203.51. This motion carried 5 yes, 1 no, and I so move.
Second.
Questions on this?
Why is it
Comments?
skipping 2 months? Like
Yeah,
you're
I
paying
know.
for July and you're paying for October.
Yeah, there wasn't any work done
In those 2 months?
months. That's
Oh.
why there was that gap in there.
But they
They-
didn't,
they
but they
had-
didn't send
they
it
had a
out for
bunch
3
of-
months then?
Yeah, there was a bunch of, they basically run out of people that were doing lab work. And so they weren't getting anything done.
when will this study be done?
We've got, this year and next year left on it. 25, actually be done in 26.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Nuss,
No.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
No.
Gross, excuse me. Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
No.
Miller,
No.
Yates,
Yes.
I carried 10-4.
Item D, Beehive, an invoice in the amount of $8,700 was received from Beehive Industries for the renewal of the license. This is the license for hosting and maintenance and security of the online reporting portal for phase 2, 3 water use reporting. The renewal period is December 2024 to November 2025. Motion to pay Beehive Industries $8,700 for the NRD suit license renewal period from December 2024 through November 2025. This motion carries 6 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner, Miller,
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Nuss,
No.
Yates,
Yes.
That carried 13-1.
Item E, staff is requesting the data that was supplied to UNL for previous surveys, studies to be updated to facilitate a study to determine the best management practices used in the phase 2 and 3 areas in order to get a better understanding of why the district is seeing decreasing median nitrate levels in one area and not in others. Data provided in 2017 and 2020 was cooperator number, NRD generated number, and quarter, section, township, and range. Motion to provide consistent data to UNL that was supplied in 2017 and 2020 for the purpose of doing a survey study for a nitrogen use benchmark study. This motion carried 4 yes, 2 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions or comments? Rhonda?
I just want to say before you vote on this, that I hope that you will consider doing this. There's good reasons why these are changing. Why is it going up in some areas? And then we look at the Hamilton County area that in 4 years has gone from 8.5 down to 7.2. Why has zone 1 gone from 8.8 to 9.3 in 4 years? I think, the university maybe, like Lynn told me that today, are slow, but they're the only game in town. Unless you can find somebody else that can do this study, how are you going to know why this is happening? Maybe there's a silver bullet over in Hamilton County, maybe there's not. But unless you do a study and give them the information that they need to do it, how are you going to know? I've been keeping all of this information for many years, and I study it and I look at it. I do see some patterns. Like in Fillmore County, in 2020, they only had 1 well that registered 25 to 40. This year they have 4. That's, a significant increase down there. Why is that happening? They've usually been kind of don't have a problem down there, but maybe this is something that's happening down there too. I just want you to consider using the university until you can find somebody better to do these studies and give them the information. Let them do their work. Don't make them do it with one hand tied behind their back. Thank you. And I don't work for the university, so I don't have any gain in this.
Any other comments or questions, discussion?
Is this Vados zone study?
This isn't the Vado zone here. This is just the information from the phase 2 and 3 areas, right, Terry?
Right, this is just.
And that they're working.
Yeah, this is different than the Vado study. Vado study is looking at sites, individual sites around the district. We look at what the soils are and what the nitrate concentration is below the root zone to the groundwater.
That's
Table.
that's what it is.
That's what that is.
Mhm.
And then this is looking at what practices are being done out on the land. And is there a difference being done here and not here that is,
So
we
is
can-
there ever gonna be a study done that will definitely tell you how much leaching there is a year? And if the results are from past problems or if they're from now? Are we ever gonna really know that? I mean, yeah, it, like
Yeah,
you said, it
and
went
I-
up it's going up in places. Is that from what we're doing now, or is that what's been going on 30 years ago? How do we
and
know?
this, this will kind of help if we know where we're at now, or we know where we're at now, and as we look at those Vados studies, that'll tell, that gives you the picture of the years and what the nitrogen concentration is through that area. So, you know, if it's way down low, if it's high at the bottom part of that and low at the top part, we know they're doing much better job, a lot less is leaching. But if it's still high all the way through, or high at the top and low at the bottom, you're getting more nitrogen, you know, leaching through that surface. So the Vados study will help answer that question, and this on with that will give us an idea of, okay, we're seeing less nitrogen going through the soils. We're seeing, you know, seeing progress in this area, and we're trying to figure out why.
Any comments or discussion needs to pertain directly to the motion. Go ahead, Rhonda.
I just want to make one more point. What you asked about is now they can identify the isotopes that are in the nitrates that are in the groundwater. So they know now that this leaching is happening. It's not historical. It's not legacy. They can tell by the isotopes when this nitrate was applied. So it's going more rapidly than we initially thought. We thought we were saying like 30 years. It's not that quickly. Not that slow.
Any other questions or comments on the motion?
So review from last. Well, the information we're going on, would it be individual producers' information, where they screen out a producer, or would it be in quarters, sections, or townships?
It'll be presented. What they will do is if we go ahead and provide this data, it'll all get basically, they'll look at it individually, but when the report comes out, it'll come out as a generalization of all of the information that they've gathered. So it'll be looking at, we've got this percentage of practices that do, say, fumigations. We've got this percentage of the land that is getting, you know, some type of other, whether that's doing fall or spring, you know, applications or what it is. So they'll look at it to identify this stuff as each parcel basically. But then when the report comes out, it comes out as an overall, you know, percentage of how many are doing this and how many are doing that. So that individual data doesn't go anywhere, but it just stays right there as a, you know, so they can make their determinations on what's going on. Is that I don't know how else to explain that, I guess, so.
Comment?
Oh, yes, Matthew.
Quick question, I know we get charged for the Vadose study, we're just providing data, are they?
Right,
not-
yeah,
we're probably not gonna get
right
charged.
now, the one we work with, the university says they feel they have the funds to actually put the study part together. So all that really the cost is just gonna be the little bit extra, the paper that goes out in the mail for the survey itself, so.
Or Kendall.
Jeff, yes, the information will be released to them in the form in which if someone truly wanted to go look it up, they could go ask for the information from the university and look it up, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah. And so right.
And that's how, but they could do that here
Yeah,
too,
you do it here too,
so.
yeah, yeah.
So they'll be receiving it in that same form. essentially.
Terry, when they, when they're analyzing this data, will they only use data that's collected by a survey, or will they use all of our data that we have?
Well, the survey will. I guess the survey will kind of outline what's for sure is being used, and then they'll compare that to with the data that we will provide them, so,
It'll be complimentary.
yeah.
They'll take the.
Take the land management practices that we collect through the survey, compare that to the phase 2 and 3 report data to look at the impacts of the land surface practice on residual nitrate that's in the soil.
So if we only have 10 people that turn the survey back in.
Well, we're hoping, I mean, what this came, when it started, I don't know, you guys have probably noticed over the last 10 years, there's been a couple of surveys that we've included that the university puts together, and they ask the NRDs, hey, would you include this in one of your mailings that goes out to operators? And then it saves the university some money, and we're partnering with them. They and historically have seen very high rates of return coming out of the Upper Big Blue NRD specifically for these surveys. And so that's kind of where this sparked for staff was, if we partner with the university and it has the university logo on it, they're able to do the statistical analysis. We may be able to get some benefit out of doing the survey if we have the consistent rate of return from producers in the Upper Big Blue NRD. They're also partnering and doing a similar project, or piggybacking a similar project, or well, not similar, the same project at Tri-Basin NRD. So Tri-Basin has sent over their phase 2 nitrogen report data to Patricio. It'll be paired with ours, and then the university will not only be able to look at just ours, but then also be able to compare what our producers are doing here with the practices and the outcomes in the Tri-Basin NRD.
So how many surveys do you plan on sending out roughly?
Oh, how many operators do we have in the district? About 2,500?
You're doing the whole district, or
Mhm.
you're just doing that sub-district?
No, we're gonna do the whole district, because we want to know what people are doing in the phase 1 areas that are keeping those low.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
You're also doing the high areas.
Yes,
Yeah, we're doing all of them, so.
it'll
we
be
can get that
yeah,
big picture.
and we're just hopeful we get a good rate of return.
Any other questions or comments? And motions on the board, so I'm not
Paul's
gonna
got-
repeat it.
I guess I got
Yes,
one
Paul.
more question. Terry, do you know what, she's talking about the isotope in the water?
Yeah, they've been able to identify, basically the age of water by what particular isotope shows up.
Wouldn't
in
that be interesting to know that, so we know if we're still leaching down, or if it's.
Yeah, I mean,
30 years
I
ago?
will have to do some looking. I think there is some of that information that's already been done, but I'd have to do some
Like, that'd
digging.
be
and see.
interesting to know, like in the zones where it's going down,
Right,
how old is that how old is it, and then where it's going up, is it, how old is that, and is, you know,
Right,
see
yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, well, we can, I'll look and see, but I'm thinking there are some of those that have been done, but we'll see what I can compare with what we're
They're
doing.
not doing any of
so.
that in the Vadostone study.
I'm not, they do need
When-
isotope in the.
No, they're not, I don't think they're doing isotope in our Vados study, but when Dr. Snow was here last winter to present on like a project update, he was able to say the water that we're pumping today has already been through the system, and I don't specifically remember how many years, but that the water that we're pumping today has already been through the system a few times. So he's gonna be able to tell us recharge rate, which is data that we're gonna also be able to put into our groundwater model at the varying points around the district. And then we're also gonna look at nitrate loading, looking at the Vados zone, and like Terry says, where's the spikes in nitrate headed toward the aquifer, and then looking at using the recharge rate and the loading, we can look at and the water pumped, how many times that water that we're pumping today has been out of the aquifer and returned back.
Yeah, it has. So, does anybody have anything else? Discussion or questions dealing directly with the motion that is up on the boards? If not, roll call.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
No.
Perry,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Carried 13-1.
Discussion and no action items. Synergen Green Energy provided the district with a variance request on October 18th, 2024. After payment was received, the request was emailed to directors on October 22nd, 2024. Haynes Zetsky was present to represent Synergen's request. He highlighted areas of the attached supporting document and answered questions from the board. Blankenau was asked to discuss variance and possible cause and effect. Several questions were directed at Blankenau. Tina Oswald provided oral and written comment to be included into the minutes, which are also attached along with the comments from two others in the audience. I asked for a motion multiple times with no response for the committee members. Synergen Green Area and variance requests failed for lack of motion. Rule 5 review. Staff sent out the draft red line of Rule 5 on November 1st, 2024. Blankenau was present to go over the proposed changes and highlighted the major proposed changes. After discussion, the committee requested Blankenau add a section to large volume water wells, giving the board the authority to require the abandonment of wells intended for large volume water withdrawal if left unused for a period of time, using language for the adjudication of a surface well permit as a guide. Also, he is to add a section in the high-risk groundwater areas to reference the preference system for water use. It was also suggested to move large volume water wells and high-risk groundwater chapters ahead of the variance request chapter. Rules enforcement, staff reported on the outstanding orders of cease and desist. Currently, there are 2 from 2023 for not reporting withdrawal, 3 for not completing the district nitrogen training, 2 for not submitting their 2023 phase 2 and 3 reports, and 7 for not submitting their 2024 phase 2 and 3 reports. Staff also provided that the water use report summary spreadsheet of 2,414 of the 12,738 have been reported. Of those reported wells, 46% have been online, and a spreadsheet is attached. Water quality maps, staff provided 3 maps: the 2024 domestic nitrate sample dot map, the upper big blue fall domestic sampling with a percentage of wells sampled over 10 parts per million, and the 2024 GWMA 2 nitrate results dot map, and all are attached. Well permit summary, you can look over on your own time, and there is no additional information.
Okay, thank you very much, Kendall.
I would add that I did get Blankenau's sent us the revised version of the Rule 5, and I'll get that sent out to everybody here, probably tomorrow, so.
Not sent to operator?
You got it, but I don't know that anybody else got it, so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I seen that Kendall was on that email too.
Okay. Oh, that came from him, not from you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that came from him, so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to the Projects and Program Committee report. Richard.
Okay, Project and Programs Committee met at 11:25 a.m. Thursday, November 24th at the NRD office in York. Committee members present were Bethune, Anthony, myself, Roger Houdersheldt, Bill Kuehner, Mike Nuss, Matt Perry, Paul Weiss, Lynn Yates, other staff members, directors, and guests. Action items. Should note, I don't know if they're Jack, the yellow one copies, the yellow copy that you got was not correct. It's not full. I know they passed around a white one now or not.
Yeah, just in the minutes,
The minutes.
somehow we got mixed up. They copied part of the executive committee on the second page of my minutes, so I'm handing around a copy of my minutes.
So if you don't follow yellow one, you're gonna get lost. So anyway, okay, action items, land treatment program. There were 2 new NRD land treatment projects. The committee reviewed the land treatment program funding for fiscal year 2025. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve the payment of 1 completed NRD land treatment project with a cost share of $313.50. That motion carried 8 yes and 1 no, and I so moved.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yeah.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Nebraska Nitrogen Reduction Incentive Act. The committee reviewed the final Nebraska Nitrogen Reduction Incentive Reduction Act program guidelines for the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources. Staff discussed initial applications and program timelines. The NRD has a total of $95,131.57 of funds from the state for this program. Applications are due by January 15th. And the NRD will award applications by March 15th. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD General Manager sign and approve the agreement between the state of Nebraska Department of Natural Resources and the Upper Big Blue NRD for the Nitrogen Reduction Incentive Act. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Good. Any questions or comments on this?
Technically have the right to vote against it again.
I didn't hear your question.
What? Yeah.
Have the right to vote against it if it was given to us from the state.
You can always tell me not to sign it.
Not supposed to do negative motions, aren't we? You learned that.
Any other questions or comments? Everybody understand the motion as printed? Roll call.
Weiss,
No.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
No.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
No.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
No.
Stahly, yes. Yates,
Yes.
That carried 10-4.
Hazard Mitigation Plan Update and Payment Request. JEO Consulting Group has submitted the draft hazard mitigation plan to the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency and FEMA for comments. JEO submitted invoice in the amount of $3,570 for work performed from September 14th to October 12th of 2024. The Nebraska Emergency Management Agency share is 75% or $2,677.50. The Upper Big Blue NRD, Hamilton County, Seward County, and York County will split the remaining 25% or $892.50. The Big Blue NRD will invoice the other agencies quarterly. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $3,570 to JEO Consulting Group for work completed on the Upper Big Blue NRD Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan update from September 14th through October 12th of 2024. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
No.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Carried 13-1.
Discussion and no action items. Publication of legal notice of meeting was published in New York News Times, Open Meetings Act. Those in attendance in Open Meetings Act was posted by the entrance to the boardroom. Private dams program. Dave Hansen has decided not to proceed with the construction of his dam north of Friend. Staff returned Dave Hansen's application fee because the design estimated exceeded the initial estimate by over 25%. NRCS is still evaluating the two dams west of Sutton. The Michael Fiala Dam is set to begin construction in November. Lake Hastings Watershed Information Plan, JEO Consulting has received EPA's comments on the Lake Hastings Watershed Implementation Plan. City of Hastings will lead the next effort and would like to wait until the new city council is on board and will probably start the development of the project plan in January. Rule 6, Upper Big Blue NRD Park Regulations. Staff will begin drafting updates to Rule 6 for the committee's consideration down the road. Additional information, Hastings Northwest Dam maintenance activities. Staff participated on the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources annual inspection of Hastings Northwest Dam. Staff returned and filled several rodent holes. Staff is working with the city of Hastings, will clean out the drawdown pipe that has been plugged with silt. NRD recreation areas camping survey for 2024. Staff presented camping data for 2024 and the past 10 years for Recharge Lake and Pioneer Trails recreation area. And our meeting adjourned 11:45, and I don't have any additional information, so that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Richard. Okay, we'll move on to the executive committee report. Bill?
The executive committee met at 12:15 PM on Thursday, November 14th, 2024 in the NRD office in New York. Committee members present were Yates, Kuehner, Stahly, Dickinson, Bethune, Siebert, Bohaty, and Houdersheldt. Board Chair Yates acknowledged that we published a legal notice of the committee meeting on November 7th, 2024 in the York News Times. Yates advised those present that the Open Meeting Act is posted by the entrance of the boardroom. Item A, payment to AMGL CPAs and advisors for the fiscal year 2024 audit. An invoice for $9,050 was received from AMGL CPAs and advisors for conducting the fiscal year 2024 audit. Motion to approve the payment of $9,050 to AMGL CPA and advisors for conducting the fiscal year 2024 audit. The motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Question, comments? Roll call.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
No.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
That carried 13-1.
Item B, out-of-state travel. The 2025 GMDA Winter Conference will be held February 25th through the 27th, 2025 in Temecula, California. Motion to approve out-of-state travel for any director and up to 4 water department staff that wish to attend the 2025 GMDA Winter Conference, February 25th to 27th, 2025 in Temecula, California. There's no board action required. No action items are the learning sessions this winter after the committee meetings. New directors, you guys have a schedule of this of the January 9th following on January 9th, you're probably expected to be at the new director orientations. You guys have that? Perfect, thanks. Personnel report, Dave?
Yeah, I didn't do a real good job last week explaining the maintenance department. Dawson Tietmeyer is a past water technician. He has been in the NRD system for about 5 years. He's the one that was promoted to the lead maintenance person. With his promotion leaves an opening in the water department. I had questions after the committee meeting on who Dawson Tietmeyer was, and I assumed you guys knew that, so that was my error. I had a 2-hour meeting this morning with the forestry people. We are in the process of starting to review applications and resumes for the shared surface forestry.
How many resumes are we getting for that?
We have, we did not advertise it. It was the university that advertised it. They have received 5 applications for the one position. Not all of them are in, I better not say anything more. Never mind.
You have the monthly financial statements attached, and you can see all the upcoming events for almost the next year. The meeting was adjourned at 12:45. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Bill. Okay, now we'll move on to the financial statement and approval of bills. You should have that in front of you. I'll look through it if you haven't already on an email. If you have any questions, speak up.
I have a question. I mean, it's not exactly pertaining to this, but when we were at the conference in California, I mean, what does something like that generally cost the NRD when we send how many employees, members? Just curious.
I can't give you an exact figure for the California trip. I think that airfare, the preliminary airfare was about $400 to fly out to California. What our hope is to rent one vehicle because we can't fly into this small town. And it's about an hour drive either airport.
Yeah, I looked where it's at, yeah.
And so we're hopeful to only rent one van or one vehicle for the staff. And those are directors attending. And then where is Terry? Do you remember registration fee?
I haven't seen the registration fee.
Okay.
They haven't come out with their registration.
Bill.
I looked online, I believe the registration is $600.
Okay.
Per person?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there would probably be some lodging.
Hotel on top of that.
Yeah. So.
Probably would be $1,500 per person. Would that be a fair figure?
I think that's probably on the conservative
Okay.
side of it.
Okay.
By the You think it's cheaper than that?
Yeah, how many can you get in one room? Yeah.
If there's any question on the financial statement or bills, just let me know.
Approve the
financial statement and bill we paid.
Second.
How often do we replace the archery targets?
It's the first time, well, the first year I was here, we replaced it, and then this is the second time. So about every 5 or 6 years, we replace it.
Yes.
On 421, info and education. 624 for the soil carbon project, is that marketing or what?
It was radio ads.
Scholarship, like we have all the departments combined, is our scholarship not on there from like a year prior, it's not underway. So.
Oh, you're looking up from the front here. on the
Yeah.
back. Okay.
Or like the scholarship we do.
Well, they didn't have anything, apparently didn't have anything apparently we didn't have anything last year either, because it's got the current year, prior year to date. So unless we paid something in the latter part of the. Well, but it might not have been, did we pay it before October? I don't know, this only goes through, because you got the current year to date, and then you got prior year to date. So it may have been after October.
I think it did because it was the first semester that scholarship was paid on it, and we received the transcripts the first semester, so that. I believe it was before October, but I can find out the exact date.
It must have been after October.
Or after, I'm sorry, after October, like everything.
Before that.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? On the motion to accept the financial statement and approval of the bills. Roll call.
Jeff.
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Houdersheldt,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, the NRCS report. Grant Jackson's with us here today.
I don't really have a whole lot to report. Our deadline for applying for programs for fiscal year 2025 ended Friday, November 15th. So we're in the process of evaluating those and processing them. Still waiting for guidance and cost share rates for 2025. But other than that, unless somebody else has any questions, I don't have anything to report.
Anything for Grant?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. The NARD report, Paul.
Okay. All the NRDs did accept the increase in retire contributions. So that is passed.
I thought there was one that was dead set against.
They did finally sign it and,
Which entity was that, may I ask?
well, there's actually one of the Niobrars and one of the Niobrars and one of the Republicans were the ones against it, but it was the smallest ones because they don't have that big a budget, so, yeah. Legislatively, there's a lot of discussion about legislature. So Dean's been going around the state, talking to senators and a lot of organizations about how the NRD funding works, how we may ask 1 year or a couple of years for more money for projects, but once projects are done, those property taxes drop again. Most people are understanding why it's important that we have our own source of funding like that through property taxes. There's no doubt in their mind that there will be another bill this session to take local funding away from NRDs again. That's what Pillen wants for some reason, and nobody knows who's advising him on his property tax policies, so nobody's sure where he's getting his information. Just to note, if you look at your schedule, the Washington DC trip is later this year by about 2 weeks, I think he said. It's at the end of March instead of the middle, March into April. Then lastly, the NRD conference is coming up, so if you want to attend that, please let Nancy know as soon as possible. That's all I got unless somebody has questions.
Any questions for Paul? Okay. Chairman's report. The reason Josh isn't here is stepfather passed away and the funeral's tomorrow. And I have a card here if anybody wants to sign it. For Josh, I'll send it around, I guess, this way. So, there should be, but you should have a schedule in front of you for the legislative conference. If you haven't, let Nancy know if you want a room. You probably need to be doing that. Maybe it's too late already, but.
Well, actually, was the day after we had our
Committee?
there was an email that was sent out, all the rooms are booked. Now, so I have what I have. I actually have, right now I've got 3 extra rooms.
Okay.
But NERD did put a call out and say if we have rooms that we're not gonna use, they were asking that people turn them back.
Okay.
So that the other NRDs can use them. So I'm gonna hold them for a bit.
Okay,
And then if nobody
Yeah.
says anything, I'm gonna turn them back.
okay. I don't know who has rooms, but
I can tell you.
but if you want a room, get in communication.
Why don't I just tell you, this was my best guess.
Okay,
Okay, other than staff here, let's see, I had Andrew Eberspacher, he confirmed. Richard Bohaty confirmed, Lynn Yates confirmed. Brian Stair, he's gonna let me know. I didn't ask John yet, John Miller.
Planning on.
Okay. Teresa has a room and she confirmed. Roger, I had a room for you, but she said no. Kevin Peterson, I have not heard from him yet. Doug Dickinson is gonna be registered, but he's not gonna take his room. And then Bill, no room for you. Okay, so that leaves me with 3 extra rooms. I'm sorry, yes, yours, yes, I have you for two nights, sorry.
okay.
Let it go, because last year the group from Valentine had to stay in a different hometown, they were here as fun.
Right, and that's.
Okay.
So you
Thank
wanna rent another room for him?
Yeah. Okay, and we got a thank you from the St. Joseph's school. I don't know if you remember, a year and a half ago or so, there was a $250 grant, but I'll read the thank you. It says, "Dear NRD, the St. Joseph staff cannot thank you enough for the $2,500 grant you have given our school for the outdoor classroom. This project is one that we all hope will be cherished for years to come as we add areas to what has already been done. It will become even more fun for our students. The benefits from being outside in nature are numerous, and the reason Deanna Erickson and Lori Hartman pursued it last fall. Because of your generosity, we have added some outdoor musical instruments for the students to enjoy. We have even seen many neighborhood children using them, as well as playing in other areas of the playground. Without the help and support of our community, our school and neighborhood would not have this wonderful playground. with much appreciation, and then there's a whole list of names on there. So, I thought I'd mention that, and I guess I really don't have too much else. So does anybody have anything they like? Yes, Mike.
Last irrigation leader, I was looking at about Dan Fester over Hilton about sentinel irrigation.
Okay, okay, I guess I don't need to say anything about Rule 5, we're working on that, hopefully that will, if we're gonna do something with that, we'll get that done in the next, well, it'll probably take, probably not next month, month after maybe, so, but keep that in the back of your mind, and does anybody have anything else they wanted to mention at this time? Hour and 5 minutes so far, hour and 6 minute meeting so far. So, and we can go a little longer if anybody has anything. If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.